Hey, it's Michaela and Katie back with another Park City Paranormal podcast,
Woo,
episode number 6, actually.
6 already.
We want to talk about our recent experience, our third or fourth time at Calvary Cemetery in Tomahawk.
Third time, I believe.
Third time.
And we did it on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, not only was it Friday the 13th, but it was a full moon, I believe, and it was also fall ride. Oh my gosh! So that was a whole nightmare.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of if energy was gonna get kicked up on any day of the year, it would have been that day. So, yep. So we've been to Calvary a few times, and we've pretty much always experienced stuff. And even if we didn't experience a single thing, just being there is one of the creepiest, eeriest places I've ever been. I've been to cemeteries at night. Nothing compares to Calvary. It is really creepy. Kay, do you want to start off with some of the things that we experienced?
So this last time that we went, we sat down and did a spirit box session. And I happened to turn on the spirit box as we were entering the cemetery. And I remember that we got the word like malevolent. And for those that do know that we did go to it last time, we did capture a picture of this dark figure behind a tree. I don't know if that's the malevolent spirit that I was talking about or not. But anyway, so we continued to do spirit box and we were kind of getting a couple things. And then all I remember was Michaela saw something, which she'll explain here in a little bit. The thing that happened after that was where it kind of all got crazy. So we ended up asking questions and also we heard whistling.
Yeah.
We heard whistling. And I'm
that
like, great.
Was like a little kid whistling or, yeah. Oof.
Yeah, I legit thought it was a person.
Yeah. And we get, a lot of times we get scared for our safety. If we are outside, it could be an animal. It could be somebody who's maybe under the influence of something. You never know. You just
never know. So
yeah.
I, being the big brave woman I am, started walking up and, yelling to see if anybody was there. We did not find anybody. And so we had the spirit box out and we had a phone app open. So we asked who that was. And I believe we got a name like of Maria or something like that, I want to say. And then right after that, I was like, oh, can you do it again? And it says, yeah. And then we heard it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it literally said yes. And then we heard it again. And of course, like it did it when we weren't recording. And I kicked myself for not recording the whole time. I was actually, at the time, I was having trouble with my storage. So I'm sitting here like trying to delete pictures and photos and videos off of my phone to try to make storage, to make more room for recording, because I apparently I'm not a real paranormal investigator. I just use my phone for everything. But because I've gotten the best evidence just from my phone, but I mean, recording wise. But yeah, I mean, I have goosebumps just talking about this. I have never felt like such a baby in my life. We basically, Katie and I took off out of there because it was too much.
About a half hour.
Yeah, we could not stay much longer because we both saw at both different times. This was the first time I've ever seen a physical apparition. It was very quick. It was very a shadow kind of, but it was like two people walking, and it was two separate times that both Katie and I saw people walking, and we checked that cemetery up and down and all around for people. I mean, we had flashlights. We had like a deer shiner.
We drove all the way around it too.
Yeah. It took me, you guys, we've been doing this for 4 years, okay? It took me a good half hour to get out of my car and out of Katie's truck and into my car to leave. I had to build up the courage just to open her door. She was a foot away from my vehicle. And it took me a half hour to get up the courage to just open her door and get into my car. And mind you, we've done many creepy investigations. That's how terrified I was. We were both like, I mean, there was something so terrifying there that it made me sick. It made me physically ill. Like, I was very nauseous the whole time.
I think one of the reasons why it was so terrifying, I mean, it was the night that we saw so many apparitions that I couldn't believe it wasn't a person or people walking.
And which is scary in itself, because you don't know what somebody's intentions are if it was a real person.
Yeah, but then like the last figure that I saw, we were sitting in my truck, and I happened to see this figure walking towards my truck.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only for a second. And
it was
gone.
like there and gone, yeah.
So then, of course, I had spirit box going in the truck also, and we were getting like so many responses with things. And then at one point there was like a kid that would come through,
Mm-hmm.
and then like wanted us, like it kept saying like come out.
Yes, I remember that. We were in the car, and it's like it was like laughing that it got us into the car
Yeah.
because it knew it had scared the crap out of us. And then yeah, it was like whatever. I have goosebumps talking
I
about
do
it.
too.
It's insane because whatever is there, I've noticed tends to kind of show itself or appear as a child. Or like make it seem like it's
Yeah.
a child because with the whistling and the laughing, like we've heard kids laughing and like the things it says, it just seems like a child playing a game, but it's not an actual child. Like I can tell you for a fact that it's not a child. We were in the truck and it kept saying, "Come out, come out, come out, come outside, go outside." Like it was creepy. It was trying to get us to come outside, and it was trying to pretend that it was nice, and it was like and we saw things, and we captured things on camera, on video, and
we'll be posting some of the stuff for you guys to kind of see what we're talking about.
right. I'm gonna kind of go through the videos, trim them, and make a reel from it. And then if we need more time than the 90 seconds that the reel gives me, then we'll do that too. But and then we'll get things uploaded on our YouTube channel as well.
And there's a point that when you're investigating, you don't have to push yourself, especially when it's in your own safety. So
Right.
we felt like we were in the presence of something more than what it was leading on.
Which we don't get most of the time. We don't get that. Like
No.
I don't even remember another time where we had something.
No, we have never
that
been
bad.
scared out of a place.
Right. We've never been scared. We've been
And
like freaked out, but we
we have,
stay there.
yes.
We've never had to leave because
But
it was
this
so bad.
thing, like whatever it was, like chased us and got us into a vehicle.
Yeah.
But then continued to
trapped
tell
us
us to
in there.
try and come back out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, for our safety, I feel like maybe we should leave for now.
Right.
I mean, the last 2 times, though, that we were there, we were not scared out.
Right.
We heard growling the last couple of times that we were there,
Yes.
which is something that a lot of people have reported.
Yeah, that's a very
About it.
common. And because I'm thinking, when I remember that day, this was the first time we had ever been there. I got out and immediately all 3 of us, me, Tracy, and Katie, we were there investigating. We got out and immediately heard like a.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like, I'm thinking, okay, is there livestock, on the
Yeah, it
other
was an
side of the
animal,
cemetery?
whatever.
And we researched up and down. There's no farm. There's no animals, in there. And then I'm thinking, oh, great, there's like a bear or something in the way. I'm freaking out. But that's a common one. And to be in the middle of it's a big cemetery.
It is a pretty big cemetery.
To be in the middle of a wooded cemetery with no electricity nearby, and to have the EMF go crazy and respond on the dot to everything we were asking it, but we would ask it something, boom, EMF would go off. We would say, if it's yes, light up. If it's no, don't do anything. And we would ask these questions, and it would respond in such a timely manner that you couldn't make it up. You just couldn't make it up. You couldn't even. I don't think you could even try to do what it did. Like even if you tried, I don't think you could stage that, and it was incredible. And I have that video somewhere. I gotta find it, but yeah.
And then the second time we were there,
Mm-hmm.
you also heard the growling.
Yep.
And you were taking pictures, and we didn't. So to be fair, we didn't see that we captured anything in these pictures the second
Right.
time. Somebody in the comment section on our Facebook page actually pointed it out, and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
"You're right. There is a figure there." And
Yeah.
we might put that picture along with this just to kind of let you guys see what we saw last time we were there.
And
it
I
was
wanna
probably
say it's
like
the same-
like 6 months, a year in between then.
Yeah, I would say yeah. And it was really windy that night.
It was.
I remember that. But the figure we saw the second time we were there, and the figure we saw this last time, we think it's the same tree.
Yes,
And
we
what's-
do think it's the same area, the same exact tree that we saw these figures at. A
Yes.
couple of them.
And also, I've heard when I used to work in Tomahawk for a bank, I've heard a lot of people ask me, oh, have you investigated this? Have you investigated that? And they had told me that they went to Calvary Cemetery and they saw a little girl hanging from a tree. And I wonder if it's that tree, because it's like something of that area of the cemetery that is like, I don't want to say evil because I'm not a huge fan of that
But you
word.
get these like bad vibes in
Yes.
that area.
Whatever
And that's
it is
where we
is, like,
heard the
negative.
whistling too. The whistling was coming from like behind that tree.
That tree. That's
and
exactly
we didn't
where it came
realize it
from.
until we were starting to walk towards it, and we're like, this is that tree.
Right. I don't even want. I mean, it makes you sick. It makes you so scared that you get sick. It's like something in your body like the negative energy really affects you and your physical senses, because you get goosebumps, your hair is raised on, and we've never felt that scared, that unsafe, I guess, in an area. So obviously, if you do go investigate any cemetery, any place by yourself in the middle of the night, please be safe. Take something with you to protect yourself. Make sure you have a flashlight, and don't necessarily be trespassing, but
And don't be like, if there is something negative, don't be provoking. That's something that I have
Yes.
always said is I don't like provoking spirits.
right.
Because that can be very bad for you.
I've done that, and I paid the price. So
Yeah.
at Shakers one year, that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
yeah, don't make them mad, because even if you don't have immediate effects, you never know what could happen when you get home. Because long story short, I've done that before. I've provoked a spirit, and my stepdad died that night. So we still don't know how he died. He was 41. So things will happen if you mess with things that you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're messing with. So always make
pretty
sure
much
you're
like
taking
leave well enough alone.
right.
So,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you don't know what they're capable of. You don't know what you're messing with, and you just always got to be respectful for your own safety as well. So yeah, that was our recent encounter at Calvary Cemetery in Tomahawk. So if you've ever been there, and if you've ever experienced anything, we would love to hear from you. We would love to see any pictures or video that you've taken. And yeah, I think hopefully one day we'll get the courage to go back there. I would like to go back there during the day, maybe to see that area in the daylight, to really see what it looks like and maybe get some picture. Because we've only been there at night, so we don't really know what the cemetery really truly looks like in the daylight. So I would totally go back there during the day and check it out, just to see what it looks like and see if we still get the creepy vibe even during the day. But yeah, at night it's pretty terrifying. So maybe we'll be brave enough to go back one day.
So one day.
One day.
Take it slow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.
See you later.
Bye.